I'm Julie Naclei, and this is a quick video on Taurus, the sign of Taurus. What is Taurus? Basically what Taurus is stability. Well, what is stability? Sometimes when we think of stability, I feel like we think of someone like, basically like Scrooge, you know, he has his like job and his finances taken care of. He's got money in a savings account. But like, how does that really make him stable, you know? Because he dies just the same as a person with no money in their account. So how has he stabilized himself? From an astrological perspective, what stability means is feeling like settled in your life as it is on an emotional level. Like you're actually fulfilled by where you are, so you're not trying to be someplace else. You know, your spirit is settled. You're not being visited by 3 ghosts in the middle of the night. It's like you're content. And then you make choices that are more stable because you're not desperately running around trying to escape, trying to have your life mean something. You can really focus and root down on where you are, which enables you to grow more. So that's what Taurus is about. It's about those experiences and which bring us feelings of fulfillment, harmony, and pleasure. But the trick is sometimes it's kind of a modern thing to think of pleasure as something that we do for ourselves, like, ooh, I'm going to treat myself. But I don't think humans can actually really get pleasure through pleasuring themselves. It's kind of, I don't think it works that way, you know? It's like you could build like the ultimate masturbation device to give yourself mind-blowing orgasms, but somehow they wouldn't really fulfill you, even if they felt good. Which is why Taurus is related to the number 2, because it's the idea that it's only through bringing pleasure to someone else that we can really experience it ourselves, you know, in a fulfilling way. You know, you can experience just empty pleasure, but we need more than pleasure to be satisfied, to get like true satisfaction. There has to be some kind of bringing pleasure and experiencing it with other people. For example, like a meal. Humans love to eat meals together. They love to cook meals for their loved ones. They want to share it. They want to see that their loved ones are satisfied. It would only be like a really sick person who could enjoy how tasty their food was if the people around him were hungry and not eating, you know? Because on an emotional level, it's, you know, we're like, oh, this tastes good. Oh, and it feels so good to know that that other person's experiencing the same taste, you know? It's like that's what makes it really hit home for us, is the sharedness of the experience. So Taurus is really about those shared, fulfilling experiences that we have every day that make life feel inherently worthwhile, you know? Like, no matter what happens, just being here feels meaningful and it feels good. And like in many cultures, that's symbolized a lot by things like food, you know? Daily meals with others are really important events. It's like a huge part of life, you know? It could be the main part of life. And things like maybe doing songs and dances together and stuff like that. But I feel like in our culture, we've slightly kind of commodified art and even food to some extent in a really scary way, where it's like we want to have these peak dining experiences and we want to have them like for ourselves, or like we want to like go see some concert of this person who's supposed to be amazing and we want that for ourselves. And this feels like kind of ungrounding to me. Seeking peak experiences is kind of ungrounding, because peak experiences can't really satisfy us more than regular experiences. You know what I mean? There's like, when you're thirsty and you drink a glass of water, it can't get any better than that, you know? Or like when you're hungry and your grandmother makes you her egg sandwiches with a glass of lemonade and then some chocolate pudding for dessert, and it just really hits the spot, you know? It's like it hits the spot. You can't, there's nowhere to go from there, you know? You've arrived. That's kind of the nature of Taurus. Or like you might have sex with someone who loves you and it's just feels great, and It's like, okay, I'm satisfied, you know? Or you might, I mean, there's all sorts of experiences humans have which are very regular, and yet they're deeply meaningful, and because they're meaningful, they make our spirit feel settled in our life, and that's what Taurus is here to do, because he's the correction point to Aries, the sign which comes before him, which is a warrior and very self-focused and so inherently unstable. And then Taurus is about connecting and having things be inherently valuable so that you've arrived and you're no longer trying to get someplace else. Yeah, and that's why it rules, you know, it's said to be the ruler of all the arts, but I mean, I really think it rules the arts to the extent that those arts provide a feeling of groundedness and meaning and connection, and that you and your everyday life are really where it's at, because that is stability. Yeah, so if you're a Taurus, if you're a Taurus sun sign, that means that you have the opportunity to bring the sense of inherent meaning and stability to the world. Like, you know, you might be the person who brings a basket of muffins to work every afternoon, and no matter what's going on in the office, everyone kind of looks forward, you know, to that basket of muffins, because it's like the highlight of their day, and it makes their day intrinsically feel meaningful and valuable when they're eating those delicious muffins and everyone else is eating them too, you know? So it's like, if you're born with the sun in Taurus, it means you have the opportunity to provide those sorts of experiences to other people. You know, you might be the person in your neighborhood whose house is just really well kept, and you have a beautiful garden out front, and there's birds flying around, and when people walk by it, they kind of smile, you know? It just makes them feel good. You might be that person. So yeah, that's what Taurus is, and I'm Julie Neckley. Thank you. Bye.